Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Oh, well, yeah. Well, today, worship coach, it's the do's and don'ts of video? Today it's the do's and don'ts of worship leading. I'm so glad you're with us. What do you do? What don't you do? Was that really awkward? We're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of worship leading. I actually have a list. I know this might sound really strange, but I really do have a list. But I'm only going to give you 5 of them today. Okay, are you ready? Number 1, don't compare yourself to others. Do study people who are ahead of you. This is important. This actually comes out of even a scripture that Jesus tells about the parable of the talents. Do you remember this, the parable of the talents? Where essentially Jesus tells a story about how this owner owns all this stuff, right? Let's just say he owns land and money and all this stuff, and he kind of divides it out to his servants, and he gives it to them in different proportions. And essentially what happens is the servants end up kind of looking around and, looking at each other like, well, I don't have that, I don't have that. But don't we do that in creative ministries all the time? I don't know. I hear this a lot that, we'll see the worship leader himself or herself and think, wow, they're the really anointed ones, or wow, they're really talented. I don't know what I have. Here's the deal. If you compare yourself to other people, you're always going to be downplaying the thing that God gave you. Don't do that, because then you will never use your gift to its fullest extent. So don't compare yourself to others. If there's a worship leader or somebody in your sphere that you love, and you love the way they sing, you love the way they lead, and they're ahead of you, by all means, study them, but don't compare. Number 2, don't hold back your singing. Choose your singing strategy wisely. Here's the thing about this. You don't have to hold back as a singer. If you're amazing and you're incredibly talented, do it. Use your gift 100%, and don't let anybody, particularly in a church, tell you that you should hold back or you're too much. Let me just tell you that right now. But what you do want to do is to look at your talent, look at your gift as a singer in particular, and strategize the best way to sing. Remember, we talked about what the job of the worship leader is, to get the room to sing. Make sure that how you're choosing to use your gift, that people in the room can actually sing along with you. That's just strategy. It's not holding back. Number 3, don't wing it. Do you hear me, church people? Don't wing it. Do prepare and practice. Never show up and just wing it. That is not more spiritual to just show up and wing it. Some people actually believe that if you just kind of show up on a Sunday morning or show up wherever you are, we're just going to let the Spirit lead. I guarantee you that the Spirit was prepared enough to know what was going to happen before you were even there. So it's not less spiritual for you to show up having some preparation and some practice. Have an idea of what you're going to say. Have an idea of what you're going to sing. Don't wing it. When you practice and you prepare, it actually builds your confidence. Here's the next thing. Don't take yourself so seriously. Do embrace imperfection. Just because you jump on a stage doesn't mean that you cease to be a person. All right? Don't take yourself so seriously. You're going to mess up. You're going to be weird. You're going to be awkward. You're going to wear a shirt that you really shouldn't have worn. It's going to look awful on camera. But just know, you're human. Embrace your imperfection. You prepare, you practice, but you need to embrace the fact that you're human and you're imperfect. Here's the last one, my favorite one. Don't keep your eyes closed. Don't keep your eyes closed. Do keep your eyes open so that you can know what's going on in the room. It's one of the first things I learned from my mentor when I came off that platform. He said, Nikki, you did really good, and here's some things you did great, but there's one thing I never want to see you do again, and it's keep your eyes closed the entire time. You may be having your own worship moment with Jesus, but here's the deal. If your eyes are closed the entire time, number 1, it's creepy, because music is about communication, and it's literally like I was going to talk to you like this and tell you about God. It's creepy. But number 2, you want to make sure that you can get a sense of what's happening in the room so that you know what needs to happen next. So stay aware and stay open. So there they are, 5 of my list of about 80 things, the do's and don'ts of worship leading. Thanks so much for your attention. What do you think? I want to know what your do's and don'ts of worship leading are. Leave them in the comments section, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.